This is a special presentation of K-Tab for You, honoring Black history.
Welcome back. Well, Dee, did you know that a former Super Bowl champion got his start right here in Abilene?
Yeah. No, I didn't know that. K-Tab's Tyler Henderson sat down with the ACU legend Cleotha Montgomery and has his story of an uphill battle to football royalty.
When you pass Anthony Field walking the Lunsford Trail or driving down Ambler, you see the black and white banners featuring ACU football greats. The first you'll see is Wilbert Montgomery, a legendary running back for the Purple and White who played 8 seasons in the NFL. However, on the opposite side of the press box hangs a banner of his younger brother, Cleotha.
My brother Wilbert was a year ahead of me, and we had made a pact that we was going to go to OU or Nebraska.
But while West Texas wasn't on their mind straight out of high school, it's where they made history after Wilbert declined an offer to play behind Walter Payton at Jackson State.
And Tyler, when I come to Abilene, I tell you, it was one of the top 3 or 4 best decision that I made in my life to come here, you know.
An All-American receiver, one of the fastest in the country, Clea Montgomery helped lead ACU to an NAIA national title. His senior year in 1977, it was a projected 2nd-round pick in the NFL draft.
But I was playing intramural basketball, and I twisted my knee pretty bad.
Right before the pro scouts were coming to watch him, and his regular 4.2 40-yard dash became a 4.75 on a bum knee, leaving Clea to go undrafted and almost give up on the game he loved.
But my college roommate, Johnny Perkins, had got drafted by the Giants the year before along with Wilbert, and they come to me and kind of convinced me to come and give football a shot, meaning that you can always get back in the business world.
He bounced around the league from the Broncos to the Bengals and the Browns, but ultimately landed in Los Angeles as a member of the Black and Silver, the Raiders, in 1982.
They were going to try to build the offense around me because of my speed, but when it was all time to pick, in the first round, the 17th pick, Marcus Allen, a Heisman Trophy, was there on the board, so they took Marcus.
Another hurdle to overcome, bouncing between halfback and receiver, but it paid off in 1984 when the Raiders beat the Redskins 38-9 in Super Bowl 18.
I couldn't believe that Nike was going to pay me $35,000 just to wear their gym shoes, the shoes for the game. But it was a surreal feeling, and couldn't really believe that we were playing in the game, because that is mostly every current player, former player, dream is to get to the Super Bowl and win it.
Hoisting the trophy with Hall of Famers Marcus Allen, Jim Plunkett, Cliff Branch, and Howie Long, among others. He holds on to those memories tightly, remembering the locker room camaraderie, seeing his old teammates every year at training camp. But he still comes back to where it all started, here in Abilene, where the campus is a little bigger and the stadium is a little nicer. However, even at 66 years old and his playing days behind him, if you were to get clocked today, got stretched out good, warmed up, what's your 40 time?
Probably a 4.8, 4.9.
There's no doubt in his mind those wheels are still running just fine. In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Tyler Henderson, K-Tab News.
Thanks, Tyler. During his time at ACU, Montgomery notched over 2,100 receiving yards and 18 touchdowns. He later also became a member of the ACU Board of Trustees.
Well, I think it was unique, though, this Super Bowl. We had a pretty exciting moment for the black country, you know, the black history with us.
You did.
Hurts and, you know, Mahomes. I was rooting for the Chiefs. I don't know. I think you had the.
Hey, I had to go with my guy, Jalen Hurts, you know, from Alabama, you know, getting to meet him, seeing him up close. Me and him, I got to follow him, man.
That's okay, but, you know, Chiefs all the way, they won, so I'm glad about that.
I'll give it to them. They got lucky this time.
All right, well, coming up on your Honoring Black History special, we meet with owners of Essence of Soul and learn where food and heritage intersect in downtown Abilene.
This is a special presentation of K This is a special presentation of K-Tab for You, honoring Black history.
Well, welcome back. Now we take a look at food and culture, mainly soul food. D, when I mentioned soul food, what came to mind right there?
Oh man, I think about my grandma, how she make, chicken, pork chops, fried fish.
It's all in the flavor.
Turkey. Man, the seasons, she got a whole cabinet full of them, man. So definitely a lot of flavor, a lot of ingredients to go into soul food.
Well, obviously, these dishes have deep roots for many families. K-Tab's Manning Diaz shares what soul food means to one Abilene family in their food truck.
Soul food is food prepared with love.
It's a cuisine with its own vibe.
It's just a tradition of good home cooking that sticks to your bones.
For Dr. Malcolm and Bridget Scott, the food truck essence of soul food outside the Peacock patio came to life similar to the very meaning of soul food.
The food connects the soul. So we figured if we came to Abilene and brought a touch of that, then we would connect to the souls of people.
Right, y'all see it? We're gonna have shrimp creole tonight.
With the Scott's touch, it doesn't take long to figure out what's good on the menu.
The seafood gumbo is really popular. The fried catfish is you can't miss it on that.
We're also doing chicken wings, which I've heard my husband makes the best wings in Abilene.
Wife's mom's homemade 7-Up cake and a homemade pound cake. One lady said she tasted, she just said, "Ooh, I feel the butter pulsating in my leg."
When it comes to how the flavors of soul food came to be, there's a story to that too.
I mean, when we think about, Black History Month, we think about the struggles that African Americans kind of went through. They weren't getting the finer cuts of meats, and so they had to make cuts of meat and the poorer quality cuts of meat taste good.
As far as where the taste of this Abilene food truck originates from,
my family owned a restaurant in Louisiana. A couple of them, Martha's Bistro and Eight Sisters was the original restaurant in the Felicianas in West Feliciana Parish, St. Francisville. Several of my aunts have passed away, but many of the recipes were their recipes.
People say, oh, well, you could just hire somebody to help you, whatever. These recipes are all from our family heritage. And so we're very possessive of it, and it's all a secret. We can give you a little tidbit about what's going on, but we can't give you the real tidbit, because if we do, we have to kill you.
Reporting from North Abilene,
hey, welcome to Essence of Soul.
Coverage you can count on. I'm Manny Diaz, K-Tab News.
Well, I don't know about you, D, but that food, catfish calling my name.
We might have to go, Oh man, we have so much more to come as we continue to honor Black history. Coming up, how the city of Brownwood is celebrating Black History Month in some special ways.
This is a special presentation of This is a special presentation of KTAB for You, honoring Black history.
Well, they say there is no greater unity than to understand a world outside yourself. That's an opportunity on display now at Brownwood Art Association. Organizers say this is the first time Brownwood has had an exhibit showcasing the lives and history of Black Americans.
KTAB's Noah McKinney gives us a peek into the culture and celebration in the Heartland.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven.
Art is a language, an experience, a memory, a way to relate with each other. The Brownwood Center for the Arts now displaying stories that too often go untold.
We grew up here, and to be able to see this happening is a little emotional, but in all the best ways.
The association taking a month to focus that celebration on the Black experience, a subject appearing on their walls for the first time, all thanks to one brave soul.
One brave soul to step up and say, I think we need a little change.
Enter LaCoya Finley.
It's actually a very proud moment. A lot of people say it's Black History Month, but it's actually American history.
Finley presented the idea last year, and the board jumped behind her.
It creates an avenue where we can discuss the Black experience, but also talk about some of those things in history that are difficult to talk about.
One wall displaying the photography of association president and Louisiana native Anthony Wren.
Things that they hear about but never seen.
The architecture of Louisiana and lives lived within.
The way he captured the images and stuff, a lot of that really speaks to you.
But Black history, like all history, is multifaceted, and for every painful past, a happy memory sits just across the room. Culture, family, and love shining through each piece in the Coretta Scott King exhibit on loan from Abilene's Illustrated Literature Center.
Marufo's Beautiful Daughters, I remember reading that in school, and to be able to see that on the wall gave me warm feels.
An opportunity for some to learn and some to be reminded that their lives are worth celebrating.
To see ourselves in any medium that's available, right? It means a lot.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you, Noah. That exhibit continues throughout February. Teach a man to fish and he'll eat for a lifetime. Teach a man to learn and there's no telling what he can achieve. This was the mindset of 3 Brown County men over 100 years ago.
Now, though segregation left no opportunity for African Americans children to receive formal education, these men and women dreamed of a better future. Noah also paid a visit to the Brown County Museum of History, where those stories are being told and in some cases revived.
Man, it's been a long time.
Engineer, mortuary professional, and amateur pianist Todd Kirk is a 4th-generation Brownwood resident.
Head ain't out and ain't Carrie. Growing up, you know, I used to sit and talk with them. They would talk about, you know, a schoolhouse that their mom wanted their dad to build for them.
Grand-aunts Ida and Carrie's parents were George and Betty Griffin, rural Brown County residents in the 1890s, unhappy with the lack of education available for their children.
As a kid, you know, you really don't pay attention.
But those stories of frontier hardship would come rushing back when he visited the Brown County Museum of History 10 years ago.
I'm walking around and here goes this schoolhouse that they were talking about.
The Griffin Schoolhouse, the first for Black children in rural Brown County, built by his great-grandparents over 120 years ago, nearly lost to time, but recovered and restored in the late 1990s.
Can't explain it. It's just, I'm getting chills now.
For George and Betty, education was the key to a better life for their kids, and so many more.
I wish more people were like that. We have engineers in our families, have morticians, you have doctors.
But the Griffins were not alone in their mission, similar goals being set in Brownwood city limits.
From the 10th Cavalry, there was a Buffalo soldier. His name was George Smith.
Smith organizing classes in homes and churches, meeting in small wooden schoolhouses, which later burned down.
So when the white school, the Coggin School, had burned, the school district decided to take the salvage material.
From the ashes of Coggins, the Rufus F. Hardin Colored High School was built in 1917, where it still stands today.
I talked to a graduate from the first class of 1918. I said, well, what did you like about Hardin? And she said, I loved everything.
Although everything from the furniture to the foundation were secondhand, the Hardin Tigers made it their home.
Hand-me-down books did not mean hand-me-down education.
Thanks in large part to the educators, like the school's namesake, Professor Rufus F. Hardin.
It was said they thought of all the school kids as their own children.
Generations of alumni with full lives, some of them forming the Rufus Hardin Museum organization in the late 90s.
It's 2023 and I'm still standing in a dark building.
Board President Hank Hunter saying he won't stop until those stories are properly preserved.
I know good and well some of those alum are not going to let me into heaven until it's done.
The people that made it possible for thousands of lives to be forever changed. Athletes, artists,
But I learned how to play on this piano.
musicians.
It makes me think, what am I going to do now for my community?
Defining lives not by the constraints of their time, but by the strength of their community.
This has really opened the book. This really opened the book.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you, Noah. The Griffin Schoolhouse is on display now at Brown County Museum of History. Hunter says the Harding Museum organization is not currently able to accept donations, but anyone wishing to get involved can contact him at the information on our website at BigCountryHomepage.com.
Coming up on our Honoring Black History special, a professor at ACU lifting student spiritual with literature and praise.
This is a special presentation of KTAB for You, honoring Black history.
Well, a professor's words in the classroom can change the life of college students in seconds, but how about on the stage as well?
KTAB's Tyler Henderson sat down with ACU Professor Stephen Moore about his journey through education, racial discrimination, and the center spotlight in chapel.
Coliseum literally shakes when these simple gestures are made.
Praise Day Friday was one of the best things freshman year, and it still is one of the best things in the world whenever Dr. Stephen Moore is here.
I mean, the whole stadium just erupts because we know something big is about to happen.
And the words, "Take the Lord with you," get sung by hundreds of students, faculty, and alumni.
And I love how it opens doors because I think students are comfortable. This is a medium that reaches so many people. Music is so powerful.
However, as the lyrics say, the highways and byways, they weren't always so smooth for Dr. Stephen Moore.
There were times in my life where I was targeted because of the color of my skin.
Fighting racial discrimination and profiling growing up, even applying for jobs with his master's in English.
They would have the resume in front of them, they would have all of my credentials, but then when I would show up, when they would meet me, when they would meet Stephen Moore, all of a sudden you could tell they had no idea that I was black. And then things changed.
For 23 years, he's found a home at ACU and in the classroom.
I try to get them to think about what slavery was all about in this country, what the civil rights movement was all about, what race relations are like right now.
Using his experiences and love for his students to help them find their own voices.
And at the end of the day, I want them to realize that they can do something about the problems of our world. And so when you think about the problems of race, I tell them over and over and over again that you hold the key, in changing the world.
But when Friday chapels roll around, he uses his own voice, singing the song he made a staple at ACU 23 years ago.
No matter where you go, you've got to take God with you. You've got to allow your faith to come out.
Carrying a powerful message with hand motions.
No matter where I am, I'm going to take the Lord with me. In the street, in your home, on the job, when you're all alone, highways, byways. I love that message.
One that makes a crowd of hundreds of different people, races, and backgrounds. Just one body worshiping the God of creation. In Abilene, with coverage you can count on, Tyler Henderson, KTAB News.
Thank you, Tyler. That was beautiful. Dr. Moore says in his classroom, he's open to discussions on the topic of racism in America. He believes it's those conversations that can help build a bridge and create a better understanding. Well, thank you all for joining us for this special honoring Black History. I know it was great hosting it for you guys.
Yeah, I had fun too. And now I'm hungry though.
No, yeah, me too.
I'm still thinking about the food. But we had a great time, and I want to say thank you guys so much for joining in. Jeopardy is up next, and come back in half an hour for KTAB News at 5 with Joni and Pete. We'll leave you guys now with sights and sounds of Chapel with Dr. Stephen Moore. Have a great afternoon.
Take care, everybody.